Bridget Moloney, the writer director of Blocks. Thank you so much for chatting about the film.
Yes.
It's so funny and so charming and so relatable to many, many people. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired you to make this?
Sure. Well, as you know, Melina, I am the mother of two young children, who are actually the children in the film, are my kids. And I just wanted to make something that visually showed how early parenthood felt to me. And I just had this image of a woman. Originally, it was just this image of a woman cleaning up after her kids and throwing up leggos and rinsing them off and putting them away. And I wrote it as like a one sheet to film just for fun. And then I was like, actually, I think there's more there. And it opened up into Blocks.
That's amazing. I know that you made Blocks through the AFI Directing Workshop for Women, which is an incredible program, as well as a sister alum. Can you, is there anything that changed about the film by taking it through the development process through AFI?
That's interesting. Yeah. I think that this didn't change very much, although it did, and it changed back, which was like a helpful exercise because you workshop with the rest of the members of the program and guest artists. And then I realized like, actually I kind of realized like that it needed to go back closer to where it was, but that was a helpful exercise. And then what really was a big thing for me is before I did the program, everything I had made as a director had like a little bit of a run and gun vibe. Like it had been like, here's my shot list. We're going to get as much as we can, as fast as we can. And AFI, the DWW gave me the opportunity to like be much more deliberate. And that was a real gift because I at first was worried that like part of my magic was this spirit of improvisation, but then I realized like, no, actually by doing this work very precisely, you actually are even more freed up on the day. And that was very helpful. So I think it changed my style and a little bit, and probably did change the final piece because I was so prepared in a way I never had been before. Mm-hmm. They make you do that.
Yeah. I think I can see that in the work because I know you have a comedy background and you've done a lot of sketch and improv. And what was really fascinating to me and why I think it's so successful is you really sort of blend genres. I see a lot of kind of not typical, but like a lot of psychological thriller camera moves.
Yeah.
You know, all those slow push-ins and the slow pan over, and you're really getting into her mind. And, you know, you would see those in not typically in a comedy, you know, you're real tight on her and then you rack focus to a Lego. It's very, very funny. So it shows a really high level of skill as a filmmaker to me, to be using those techniques, and I'm still laughing.
Thank you.
So in that regard, I think the music I found to be the same, where the score really toes the line between, it can move easily into that thriller underscore, but then it comes back and it can be quirky and funny as well. So what were the influences both for the visual style and the music?
That's an interesting question. I had, like, for some of the psychological stuff, we didn't use any Hitchcocky things. There's a shot that didn't make it into the film, which I kept calling my Hitchcock shot, which was over her on the bathroom floor, which was very hard to achieve. Of course, isn't in the movie. I did want some of, like, stylistic, unstable, it's true, flourishes in it. So we did look at, like, some of the traditional like suspense films, but then also we talked a lot about this this movie that I'm gonna mess up the name of, called Oslo August 31st, I think, which is what it sounds like, but it's like a day in the life, and it's but it's just like beautifully shot and very grounded. And so like we kept talking about how to do that and like make two people talking interesting and tell the story without getting without getting tricky, without you noticing, but framing wise. And I was like, lots of French overs. That's the solution. So, but yeah, so those were some of the influences. For the visuals, I really wanted to make something. I was like, I need my visual storytelling to be way upped in this. And because I'm a very dialogue heavy writer and I rely on that a lot. And I was like, I really want the camera to tell the story. I really want the visuals to tell the story. So I worked with my DP, Jake Hosfeld, a lot. Like we photo storyboarded a lot and tried moves. It also was confusing because I stood in because we couldn't hire a stand-in a lot. So then I'd run back and back. And then when we gave everything to everyone, they'd be like, are you in this movie? And I was like, no, I'm standing in. And then for the music from the get-go, Ariel Marks was our composer, who's like way too big for me, but knew our producer and was like willing to do this as a favor. She, from the beginning, I was like, I want all electronic sounds. I don't want any instrumentation. I want it to feel really synthetic. And I also want it to feel cooler. Like I don't want anything cute. Like the kid stuff should be weird. It should be like machine noises, nothing twee. And to sort of fight against it, but like with the plastic stuff, I was like, that's what I want it to sound like. And then she nailed it. She's really good. We had to tweak a little bit also with the sound design because it was a little too scary at first. Like, and the first edit of the movie, I was like, oh, I made a very scary movie, and like that was my intention. So we had to find it a little bit, but yeah, those were two things. I wanted to make sure that there was a dark undercurrent. While it still was like a fun watch.
Well, let's be real. We're all terrified of stepping on Legos in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, really great work on that front. So what's happening with blocks now? I know there's some movement even beyond the short.
Yes. So I am developing it as a series. So I have, I'll be mysterious, I guess. I have producers. Well, I can talk about that. I have Matt Tolmack Productions attached to it, and we have a studio, and we're going to try to sell it as a television show. We're going to sell it as a television show.
There you go. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So a heightened reality domestic comedy.
That's great. For anybody that's watching that wants to continue following your journey, where can they follow you?
Oh, that's such a good question. You can follow me on the internet. I am Bridget Moloney, Moloney, on Instagram, and my website is bridgetmoloney.com. And hopefully this will motivate me to update it.
Good. Well, you're welcome for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Bridget. This was lovely to chat with you. Congrats on the film, and fingers crossed for the TV show.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.